About her experience as an ASAP student, as an ASAP TA, and some of her undergraduate research and what she's planning to do for summer and into next year. Melanie, come on up.
Good morning. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Rachel. My name is Melanie Ambler. As she said, I graduated in 18.5, so in December, but I've been here for the past semester, so I'm here today. And I thought I'd talk about my experience in ASAP and how that changed my entire life. I walked into class during the spring semester of my sophomore year and immediately felt at home. I remember calling my mom after the first class and said, "Mom, I have never smiled so much in my life in a course at Brown or in high school or middle school, whatever." And I just automatically knew that this was the place for me. I'm a cellist by training, and I also am pre-med and studied neurobiology. And this was the first time that I had the chance to combine my interests both extracurricularly and academically in a course at Brown. Which I think kind of defines the idea of the open curriculum at Brown, and sometimes it's actually very difficult to find interdisciplinary courses, but ASAP is this perfect nexus of the arts and sciences, and I think a lot of students here have those disparate interests because they've come here and they want to explore them, and ASAP was the first place that I found that community. And it's a very loving community, welcoming community, and I have not left, so that's kind of a testament to how important it is to me. During my time as a student in ASAP, I experienced incredible site placements working with all of you wonderful people, and I brought my cello to one of the classes and started just playing music and having the dancers improvise, and it was one of the most powerful experiences that I've had at Brown, just to be able to communicate not using words through music and through dance, and seeing how bodies interact with one another when there's no script provided, because in my classical music training there's always a script provided. So that was something different for me, and I think something different for the dancers. So that part kind of continued into this summer, and throughout this year I've been playing for the classes, and it's always the highlight of my week. In terms of research, which Rachel touched on earlier, I actually met my thesis mentor because she was a guest speaker in ASAP, so credit everything with this class. And Dr. Stacey Spriggs, works at the School of Public Health, and she guided me on a systematic review that looks at the effects of music on surgical patients. And I really wanted to assess whether music might be able to replace some need for medication or decrease patient anxiety and vital signs. And we found all of those things in different studies that have been performed thus far, so those are some pretty interesting results. In terms of the future, ASAP also inspired the research question for a project proposal that I submitted for a Fulbright Fellowship. And I recently was awarded that Fulbright Fellowship. So I studied abroad in Paris, actually with Mia, and I'll be returning to France, this time not to Paris, but a city in Normandy. And I'll be working with a lab there that's a neuroimaging lab, so they use functional MRI to look at areas of the brain that are activated in response to different stimuli. And in my case, that stimuli is music. And we're looking at the effects of music on patients with 2 different types of dementia to see whether it can activate brain areas related to memory that other stimuli might not be able to activate. So that's kind of just a brief overview of what ASAP means to me, and the fact that it really started this passion of mine. I had the passion before, but it provided the space and the opportunity to actually pursue that in an undergraduate setting, which I think is pretty rare, and I love you guys, and thank you.
Now I'm going to invite my dappers to come on stage.